Hello, I'm Hansi Parchment. You're watching Talawa TV with Crystal Davis.
I think the uniqueness of the Reggae Girls is they embody the national motto of Jamaica, which is out of many one people. So when you look at the entirety of the Jamaica squad, you have dark-skinned girls, mixed-race girls, girls who have black and Asian in them. You also have the homegrown players, so like your Bunny Shaw, your Konya Plummer, your Denden Blackwood. So what that means in terms of from a grassroots perspective is girls who are born in Jamaica can look at a Bunny Shaw and hear that authentic accent and say, you know, if Bunny can make it, then so can I. Once you hear that authenticity, that raw Jamaican accent, they should be able to look at a Bunny Shaw who's now our captain to say, if Bunny can do it, especially if you come from the same community, the same parish as her, if she can do it, then so can we.
I want to give a big bless up to the Reggae girls out there. They ain't believe in us. John did. Reggae girls, keep winning, keep inspiring. I know you're going to be great out there. World Cup. Sadella Marley, number love. Bless up from DJ Khaled.
And I'm representing for the Reggae girls. You know what I mean? Big up on yourself every time. Especially if you're qualifying for the World Cup back to back. You know what I mean? Sidela, big up yourself. One love every time. You know the thing go. Blessing off a flow like a river. Blessing off a flow like a river. What the Reggae girls do? Left them name night earth like a queen. Me have to big up the top soccer team. You know Massacre represent. Jamaica supporting every time. You know the thing go.
Hello, I'm Hansi Parchment. You're watching Talawa TV with Crystal Davis.
I feel happy from UK, you know.
See the moonlights on the town. Whoa, I'm getting ready. Talawa TV is in the town. Whoa, I'm getting ready. Got a corner on the telephone. Yeah, this is the Ocean of the Messenger, and you're watching Talawa TV with the host and best Davis. Take it away.
Hi, Talawers. How are you all? Good afternoon, good evening, possibly good morning. All depends on where you are in the world. Welcome back to another live stream. You know how I like my live streams, guys. Please do get active with the comment section. Don't be a stranger. Do drop your comments in the comment section because that is what it is there for. And as I've always said, I don't like to sit here and talk to a screen as I'm currently doing. So hopefully as the stream goes along, you guys will get active and we can have a little conversation here and there with each other. I promise I won't take up much of your time. Yesterday, you guys have already figured things out. No live stream yesterday. I would like to remind you guys that it is every other day, unless something comes up where I have to be here every single day. But outside of that, I'm gonna stick to the pattern there of giving you guys a live stream every other day. So two people that I want to talk about on my live stream is Leon Bailey. I want to talk about Leon Bailey, although I've already spoken about Leon, but I'm still left a little bit confused for the most part. Still have some extra stuff there that I want to talk about with Mr. Bailey and also Mason Holgate. Big up yourself there, Cranky. Good live stream last night, by the way. I don't think you needed me to come on. I was listening. I don't think you needed me on your live stream at all. Initially, I wasn't sure what the topic of conversation was about, but thankfully the guys in your comment section made it quite clear to me what the conversation was about. But I thought you did an excellent job. I don't think you needed panelists or anyone to even co-host with you. So yeah, that was a wonderful live stream. Long may it continue. Big up yourself. If you guys aren't familiar with Cranky Live, do head over to his YouTube channel and go ahead and kindly hit the subscribe button and also hit the like button whilst you can. Right, guys, I'm going to segue immediately because you know how I like to do my live stream. Yes, it is about sports mainly. We do cover the football, athletics, also netball, if and when, wherever possible, right? But every now and then we do have to go slightly off topic and talk about something different, right? Thank you, Cranky. I hope so. I hope it's a good live stream. Thank you. Big up yourself. And so I'm going to do what I did on my previous live stream because it is an important message that I do want to touch on, if in case you guys have missed this one. And of course, starting off on a not so positive note as it relates to my last live stream where we spoke about Hurricane Milton. Now, I'm sure you guys have been keeping yourself in the loop, especially if you live in Florida, if you're stateside, or if you have family in the Caribbean, like Jamaica. We know Florida is just in our backyard. So let me just go ahead and give you guys a brief update there. This update came, let's just say, a little bit over half an hour ago. And this one here is directly from Sky News. I will go ahead and read the most relevant information to you all, and then we will continue the rest of the show. Okay, yes, I know it's nothing to do with sports, but human beings come first before anything else. Before we can look at them as individual athletes, we have to look at them as human beings. And I think this is a news story there, developing news story that we all want to know what's going on as it relates to Hurricane Milton and Florida. So the headline reads for itself. It says, Hurricane Milton, Florida braces for storm's landfall with huge evacuation underway. Hurricane Milton has shocked experts with how it has quickly intensified ahead of its expected landfall on Wednesday or early Thursday, coming around 2 weeks after Hurricane Helen killed over 200 people in the U.S. Florida is bracing for the landfall of Category 5 Hurricane Milton as officials have pleaded with residents to follow evacuation orders. Given the potential destruction of the storm, President Joe Biden, I should say, my apologies, postponed an upcoming trip to Germany and Angola in order to oversee preparations for the storm, in addition to the ongoing response to Hurricane Helen. And there's a brief comment there from President Joe Biden, and he stated this could be the worst storm to hit Florida in over a century, and God willing, it won't be, but it's looking like that right now, said Mr. Biden. And he continued by saying, I just don't think I can be out of the country at this time. A little bit more from relevant information there. If you are in Florida, I will stress, do take caution, do listen to the experts. If there's ever a time to listen and not be wrong and strong, I think this is the perfect opportunity for you guys to do so. It does say in the rest of that report there, we haven't seen a storm like this in a lifetime. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said on Tuesday morning, now is the time to execute your evacuation plan, but that time is running out. He continued there in the article, I should say, continued by saying his office declared a state of emergency for some of the worst affected areas. A similar one was later declared in parts of Georgia too. State workers rushed to clear debris from Hurricane Helen as evacuation orders are in place for over 1 million people in Florida's West Coast counties. So that is the information there that I wanted to share with you guys there. I know I do have some of my subscribers out in Florida. I am definitely thinking of you guys. I do hope and pray to God that the pending hurricane comes and does no devastation, leaves no devastating impact. I am praying for you guys, and also for my non-subscribers as well, because we are putting human beings first at the end of the day. Johnny Powell, bless up to yourself. I hope that you are in great health. Dockland Stennett, I am from Florida. I hope your loved ones, if you still have loved ones in Florida, I hope that they are keeping safe, and I hope that they are most certainly not treating this as something that is low risk. You heard there from the report that this is a hurricane like no other. Clearly, it says here we haven't seen a storm like this in a lifetime. It is predicted to be the worst of the century. Hopefully, by the grace of God, it will not take any fatalities in its path. So to the guys out there in Florida, you guys are definitely in our thoughts and prayers, and hopefully by the grace of God, you guys will come out strong once this this hurricane passes through. Okay. Scranky says, have a friend from the UK evacuating in Florida, says it's extremely bad. You know, goes without saying there, Cranky, I pray and hope pray to God that your friend is okay and, you know, their loved ones and so on. We are pretty much bracing ourselves for what could be, you know, unimaginable, but hopefully that's not the case. And of course, I'm not in Florida. I don't live in Florida. I've only ever been through Florida for transition when I'm transiting from from England to Jamaica. But nevertheless, you know, as I said, people come first. We're dealing with human beings and lives at the end of the day. So we do have to take some time to stop in our path, whatever it is that we're doing, say a prayer or two, and hope for the best as it relates to this pending hurricane. Hurricane Milton, I believe, is how it's pronounced. Right, guys? So we are going to go ahead and get on with the rest of the show. Give Holgate a chance. We are going to be talking about Mason Holgate. It seems like there's a pattern of behavior there as it relates to our beloved Reggae Boyz supporters. I don't know, you guys are one of a kind. I'm still trying to think, are they just pulling each other's legs? I don't know, people having a laugh or people being sincere with their opinions. But if you are doing this for banter purpose, I'm hoping it's banter, although it doesn't sound like banter, and you are acting. I will say you are some pretty good actors, you know. You are some wonderful actors. You do deserve a couple Oscars here and there, you know, because the things that I've heard in such a short time frame since the Jamaica Football Federation made its announcement as it relates to Mason coming along and playing for Jamaica, it's been a little bit laughable, questionable at times, to put it mildly. And I am going to dive right into that. I think you should see a picture there of Mason. This one was posted up on the Jamaica Football Federation's Instagram account. I don't know, maybe some hour ago, if that. So yeah, just scamming our unique circuit as it relates to Reggae Boyz and football. And I'm sensing a pattern of behavior which we have seen with a number of the Reggae Boyz there, long-lasting Reggae Boyz and new Reggae Boyz coming into the crop. And I'm left wondering what on earth is going on. So before we get into all of that, I do want to stress that the announcement of Mason Holgate and the pending appearance there of Mason Holgate, I think it is one that we can most certainly be excited for in terms of how genuine it is. I know whenever we talk about players birth in the diaspora, there's always this tasteful taste in our mouths. A lot of people stick their noses up at players born in the diaspora for whatever the reason may be, each to their own. Some players will say, you know, for the players who are born in England, they say, oh, Jamaica is their final destination. Jamaica is like their plan B or plan C, whatever it is. They oftentimes label players born in the diaspora as, you know, when it comes to Jamaica, Jamaica is not your first choice. But I will stress this, that I do sincerely believe that with a player like Holgate, that the same can't be said. I will remind you guys of that interview there, and I'm not going to read the interview that I did with Mason Holgate some 4+ years ago, but I will stress on the important parts there from that interview. Again, big up the Voice newspaper for taking a chance on me when I was just in university as a undergrad. Thank you for making my dreams come to reality, turning my dreams into a reality, I should say. All my dreams, there are parts of my dreams coming to fruition. So big up the Voice newspaper each and every time. So for context, for this interview that was done again some 4+ years ago with myself and Everton's Mason Holgate. Yes, he is still an Everton player. He is currently on loan to West Brom, right? And basically, I had asked him back then if he would consider playing for Jamaica. That was the main reason for talking to Mason Holgate. And he did say, in his own words, it is something I have not thought about too much. I want to focus on playing for Everton. He did, however, follow that one up by saying, I feel like these type of things, international football that is, takes care of themselves. I have not heard anything from Jamaica so far. So I just have to keep playing and see what happens. And he wrapped that one up by saying, yes, it is always something you have to consider. I have to sit down and look at the options and think about it properly. And I wanted to just remind you guys that this isn't something that's just come out of the thin air. It's not something that's just come out of the blue. It's not I am down on my luck. I am currently playing championship football whilst my parent club, Everton, are in the Premier League. Therefore, I'm running to Jamaica. That is not the case with Holgate, or at least I do not believe that that is the case. Having met him back then, some 4+ years ago, I did gather this purity about him. I think purity is something that we cannot fake as people. I think that is the reason why when you meet someone, your stomach kind of tells you that you don't like them. Something about them doesn't sit right in your stomach. But with someone like Holgate, I didn't get that impression. You know, I didn't get that, oh, you know, he was just lying and trying to make himself look good, for example. I do think that what he said back then was absolutely sincere. I don't think he was saying it to make the headlines to get England to have second thoughts. I think he was genuine and he would have considered playing for Jamaica. And here we are, some 4+ years later, where he has finally been given his passport. He's been, I am assuming now, given the FIFA clearance. So he's in camp. He's in camp. You can check out the Jamaica Football Federation's Instagram page where they posted a photo of Holgate in camp. So he has definitely at least participated in his first official training session with Holgate. Listen to me. Let me tell you something. So when it comes to me, don't ramp with me. You can ramp with the rest of the YouTubers them, but don't ramp with me. If you as a man fancy Holgate or any one of the reggae boys them, do not use me as your smoke screen. All right? Do not come over here with your little foolishness and your little slackness. Do not do that, because I will not hesitate to block you. All right? I am not the one to toy with. Do not do that. Let me remind you guys that this right here is my place of solace. This is where I come for comfort. Do not come and interfere with my peace, okay? All right. Carrying along, guys. Got distracted there in the comment section. I'm really not here for fun and games. I'm not here to be played with. Like, don't do that. Hold on to your stupid little comments. Do not do it. Do not come to me with your foolishness, all right? I'm a very serious person when it comes to my work. Don't ramp with me. Don't do that. You carry on with this little slack behavior with the rest of the YouTubers then, but don't come ramp with me. Don't do them stuff there. Let me just continue. Like, just lose focus. Like, there always has to be one little crosses in my comment section. Why? So me speaking positively of a player means that I fancy them. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? If you fancy, as a man, if you fancy Holgate or any one of them reggae boys, they take your shot, but don't use me as your smoke screen. All right? Don't ramp with me. Let me continue what I was saying, guys. I think I need one of you in the comment section to remind me, because I don't even remember what the hell I was saying. And when it comes to comments like that, I am going to pause and I'm going to nip it in the bud, because what I don't want some of you guys to do is think that you can play with me and subsequently play with other young girls and women who want to come into this space. Leave people alone. And it goes for the rest of the guys as well. Leave YouTubers alone. Leave people alone. If the hosts aren't provoking you, do not provoke us. Okay? Do not do it, because it is unfair. Do not just go ahead and intentionally provoke people. Do better than that. You want to ramp rough? I can ramp rough as well. Okay? So respect yourself and respect me also. Don't do that. Someone in the comment section remind me of what I said, because I don't even remember what I was saying. I think I was talking about Holgates and him accepting the call up, playing for Jamaica and so on. I believe I said that he's in training. I'll go ahead and bring up one of the pictures actually with Holgate there in training. Again, you can head over to the Jamaica Football Federation Instagram and you can go ahead and see Holgate for yourself. Clearly, Holgate, you have Nightingale. I don't know if that's your cup of tea, but he does seem to fancy you. He's using me as his smoke screen. I'm a married woman, so I am definitely not interested. I have a family of my own. I am not interested in the slightest. But Nightingale, or Nightingale, whatever you want to call yourself, he seems to be interested in you, though. I don't know if I can be a mediator. I don't know. Whatever floats your boats. I don't discriminate. Hey, do your thing. Don't get me involved. All right, let's see. going back to Holgate, as I said, guys, I don't believe that he is like, yes, when you look at, we're not going to lie to ourselves, and I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus, right? I'm not here to do that. It's quite clear, not just with the reggae boys, but with the reggae girls, that we've seen a couple of these players come through the ranks, and we're looking at them and we're thinking, you're just here because your country of birth don't want you and you don't have a choice, but that's why you're here playing for Jamaica. Nevertheless, each to their own. If that's the case, let that be their problem, not mine. But I do want to stress, as I've said before, that when it comes to Holgate, the same definitely cannot be said. The same should not be said. I think that Holgate, from an outsider looking on, as I've said on previous live stream, I believe that it's a call up with a purpose, if that makes sense. And I'm going to try and see if I can articulate that better to you guys. I think a player like Holgate, irrespective of what you guys think of him in terms of, you know, how he plays, his style of play, whether you think he's part of the missing puzzle that we need to help us qualify for the first ever Men's World Cup since 1998, that remains to be seen. But I do believe that the coaching staff sees him as part of this succession plan, right? And going back to what I was saying about Holgate in terms of how approachable he is and how pure he is as a person, that is just my opinion of when I met him and interviewed him some 4+ years ago. I do think that he is the type of player that is coachable. As I said, I do think he's part of that succession plan. And I think that he is, from what we can see of Holgate club to club, he does come across as being someone who is a professional. And I think that's what we need going forward with our senior men's national team, because I'm tired of the internal affairs. I'm tired of the internal drama, this man threatening that man, this person not liking that person. I think when you bring players like your Holgate and your Damari Gray into the mix, I think what that does is that then has a knock-on effect of intentionally, and I will stress on intentionally, and this is just my opinion, intentionally isolating and exposing the bad apples. We do have bad apples. I'm not going to name names, but we do have bad apples. But I'm not going to be putting people on a pedestal or throwing people under the bus, I should say. I'm going to stay away from that and allow you guys to figure that out. But saying that to say, I think it's inevitable that the more professional players that you bring into the national setup, it's inevitable that those unprofessional players will be made to be exposed. They will be exposed. They will become something almost like, as I've said on my last live stream, they will almost become an island, pretty much just left on their own. Just like Jamaica, they will become an island left on their own. And it will be there for the world to see their true colors. And I think that is the reason why they're looking at players like your Holgate and your Damari Gray. It's not just about the qualities of the player. Yes, that should be on the highest of our priority. We should be looking to get players of the highest quality, the highest caliber. But we also can't just be recruiting any Tom, Dick, or Harry. We have to go ahead and recruit the appropriate players that can change the narrative around the Reggae Boys, change those internal bad behaviors and so on. And I think someone like Holgate, God's willing, he will help to do that, or at least that's how I envision this relationship there between Holgate and our national team panning out, as we have seen with someone like Damari Gray. He's been here for what? Damari Gray, correct me in the comment section, guys. Memory serve me well. What has it been? Over a year, 2 years? I can't remember. You guys need to comment in the comment section and let me know. But from what it's worth, from what I can see, I don't believe I've ever come across a bad story about Damari Gray. I don't believe I've ever heard of him being involved in any internal bust-ups, internal drama, and so on and so on. Again, not saying this because I want to kickstart a separate conversation as it relates to players' behavior, attitudes, and so on. Saying that to say that I do think the recruitment of a Holgate makes sense. And I saw something there which made me laugh, and I was just thinking, wow, Jamaican football fans, where the Reggae Boys and sometimes where the Reggae girls are concerned, not everyone, but let's say the minority. Now, unfortunately, the minority somehow outweighs the majority. I'm guessing because the majority are silent, which it just means that you guys need to be a little bit more vocal. But for some reason, the minority outweighs the majority. And then these stories start to spin. And that's a problem. because I saw something literally after the Jamaica Football Federation announced Mason Holgate. I saw something, and before I get onto that, I want to know from you guys in the comment section, when it comes to new media and traditional media, do you take what's said as gospel? That's something that I've been asking my subscribers in my community tab for well over a year. Do you guys take what is said in new media and traditional media as gospel, or do you take it with a pinch of salt and then go off and do your own research? I really do want to know that. I will say that if you are taking things as gospel, then you're doing yourself a massive disservice. And I think that in itself is helping to support all that negativity and toxicity within our own little unique space, right? But that's just my opinion. Now, here's the thing. Here's something that I was looking into. Now, when the announcement was made about Mason Holgate, I saw a couple of people saying that he is just like Damian Low. So it's just like, what do you mean he's just like Damian Low? I don't understand it. Do you watch him play? I don't think most of you watched the championship, and I don't think most of you watched Everton, even when Holgate was playing. So I just kind of feel like you guys, some of you, again, the minority, you don't have a bloody Scooby what you're on about. You're just making things up, and you're so dangerous at it that you need to be stopped or called out. Because one of the narratives that's already been spun on Holgate, and he has yet to kick a ball, let's go ahead and remove that banner, is that he's just like Damian Low. Now, you know, when Damian Low's name get mentioned, for the most part, it's never anything positive. It's always something negative, right? So Damian Low, for the minority, where Jamaica is concerned, he is considered a walking red card. So I'm thinking, if I'm new to Jamaican football and I'm hearing you call the vice captain a walking red card, I'm thinking this man is a liability. I'm thinking every other game, or if every game that comes, this man gets a red card. So I was like, all right, let me go and do my own little research, because they say Damian Low, you can see this is profile. This is taken from Transfer Market. I'm sure we're all familiar with Transfer Market. It is a trusted website for player information and so on, right? So while I went over to Transfer Market and I'm looking and I'm thinking, okay, so where Jamaica is concerned, I'm not concerned about his club activity, and I don't think you guys are, as it doesn't relate to what we're talking about. I'm looking and I'm thinking, okay, so we've got Gold Cup 2019, right? And it goes through from Gold Cup 2009 to international friendlies, CONCACAF Nations League, League A, World Cup qualification, CONCACAF Nations League B, CONCACAF Nations League qualification, Copa America, Caribbean Cup qualification, Caribbean Cup 2012. And you can see all the number of games there that Damian Low has played. So I went across and I was like, okay, Mr. Walking Red Card. I went across and look at red card, which you guys can clearly see, and the total says 2. So now I'm thinking, how is he classed as a walking red card if the stats is telling me that he only has 2 red cards? And you can see the total of games there that says 67. So for a defensive player, a center back, right, to accumulate 2 red cards in 67 games, I don't think, unless I'm a little bit loopy, unless I'm a little bit slow, I don't think you can call him a walking red card, guys. You can say you don't like him. You can say that he's a liability. You can say that he needs to do better as a vice captain, and one might not be able to argue with you, but there's no way in hell you can look at his stats and say to yourself that he is a walking red card when he has 2 red cards in his back pocket, 67 games played. Again, I'm taking this information from a trusted website. We are all familiar with Transfer Market. So then I was like, so why is Holgate, before he has even kicked a ball for Jamaica, why the hell is he being compared to Damian Low? And that's not to say that I don't rate Damian Low. I was just confused. So then I heard a few people saying that Mason Holgate is a walking red card. And I said, okay, I've heard this story again. So I went, of course, I can't check Holgate competing at national level where England is concerned, because obviously there's nothing there for us to toy with for obvious reasons. There's a reason why he's now a reggae boy. And I looked and I said to myself, all right, let's go check this out, because they were wrong about Damian Low being a walking red card. So let's go and check out Mason Holgate. And I look and you can see the string of clubs there that he has played for, namely his parent club, Everton. For context, he is on loan to West Brom. This is his second outing there with West Brom. They are currently in the championship, but he is currently on loan. So we've got Everton U21, West Brom, Barnsley, Sheffield United, and Southampton. And you can see there a total of 237 games spread across from the Premier League to Championship, for example. And you look at Everton, and again for a defender, centre-back, just like Damian Low, 150 appearances for Everton, 1 red card. I'm thinking, okay. Barnsley, 22 games, 1 red card. Sheffield United, 10 games, 1 red card. So he's accumulated 3 red cards. So I'm thinking to myself, then where the hell do you guys get walking red card from? Do you guys just sit at home and make things up? Like, do you understand football? Do you watch football, or do you just have your eyes fixed on the game? Because sometimes I've been guilty of that. Sometimes I say I'm watching football, but my eyes is just fixed on the game and I'm probably not paying attention. Or have you been brainwashed? It's okay if you've been brainwashed, because we've all been brainwashed. We've been guilty of over-consuming particular or certain type of content to the point where we have been brainwashed and restructured or structured to think a certain way. We've all been guilty of it. I'm waiting to like really figure that out. I do actually want us to have a conversation here, because this cannot continue. This negativity and this toxicity cannot continue. Mason Holgate has yet to kick a ball. The man don't kick a ball, and already you guys are calling him a walking red card. Where you get that bit of information from? How is he a walking red card? Someone who is a centre back. When you look at the games that he has played in for Everton, his parent club, along with a couple of the loans there that he has been on, season-long loans, he's accumulated a total of 3 red cards. So maybe I'm just, I don't know, maybe I'm at war with genders here. Is this a gender war? Is this how most men think? Have I touched a nerve? Have I touched a nerve that I shouldn't have touched? Because I need you guys in the comment section to start calling people out. I need you guys to start calling people out, because if these men who are spinning their false narratives, if they were women, you lot will be telling them to go back to the kitchen. You lot will be telling them to go and watch netball. Now, I am not telling you to be discriminatory towards anyone, but I want you to get into the habit of telling men who talk nonsense that they don't know what they're talking about for a man. I need you to get into the habit of saying to your brethren that, you know, for a man, you don't really know football. You need to start shaming people, because it's becoming ridiculous. The young man has not kicked a ball for Jamaica, and already you lot are spinning your narratives. Are you that bored? Are you that bored? Do you need a job? If you have a job, go and get another job. If you have 2 jobs, get 3 jobs, get 4 jobs, get 5 jobs. Just make yourself active. Go out and touch grass. When last you took your other half out on a date or on a holiday? When last you took care of yourself? Like, where do these lies come from? What do you get out of coming up with these lies? Now, I'm saying this because if somebody is new to Jamaican football and they're out there and they just happen to come across your live stream and they're looking and they're hearing you call Damian Low a walking red card, which is a lie. It is a lie. And Mason Holgate a walking red card, they're going to be looking at them and saying that they don't rate that player, all because of you and your foolish ways. So I need you lot to start actually calling people out and letting people know that, you know what, for a man, you don't know nothing about football. You need to start shaming them. You need to hit them in their gut so that they think twice next time when they come on social media. Before they start with their little trigger fingers, they think twice and say, actually, I can't say this because somebody's going to shame me. You need to shame them. You really need to shame, because I know if it were women that were coming out and saying half the things that some of you men say, that we will be shamed and put to bed. People will be telling us to go and watch netball. People will tell us to go back in the kitchen, go on Hoover, go and do the dishes. We'll be told all types of nonsense. And again, I stress this. I am not telling you all to go out there and abuse people and be discriminatory. I am not telling you that. But you need to start putting people in their rightful places. Because I think that I speak for most of us, maybe not all of us, that the negativity is a bit too much and it's uncalled for. It's completely uncalled for. And I know you guys don't watch West Brom. And I know you never watch Everton. Even when Holgate was banging ball for Everton, you was not watching him. So where this narrative come from, I don't know. But I will say this again, guys. Take things like a pinch of salt. Take it with a pinch of salt is what I should be saying. Take what's being fed to you with a pinch of salt, even if it's coming from me. Go ahead and do your own research. This is the reason why when I'm giving you guys these live stream, I put the shared screen in front of you. I could easily do my research and come and just speak with you guys directly, but I share my research with you as an example. So you can see that it's not something that I'm just making up. It's not something that I'm doing for PR purposes. It's not propaganda. It's facts that we're dealing with here. Now, if you're new to the channel, do go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Better yet, why not go ahead and hit the like button? It is 12:37 my time. I'm going to pause and I'm going to go ahead and take a look in the comment section. Jamrock Rentals, I don't recall seeing you on my channel before, but big up yourself. I hope this is not the last time. Every now and then I go off, but I go off with good faith, with good intention. I'm not going off just for the sake of going off. I'm going off because the circle that we are part of is toxic and ridiculous. And at the end of the day, whether we like it or not, as new media, YouTubers, content creator, whatever you want to call yourself, we all get categorized as one. We all get categorized as one, just like traditional media. They're just called traditional media. They don't separate them in different categories. So we all have to do better because we're all reflected as one. So do better, guys. Please. It's ridiculous. And then you complain when these young players like your Omari Hutchinson don't want to commit to us. Why the hell would they want to commit to us when you're there making up lies about players who already play for us? And then you turn around and you blame the Jamaica Football Federation. Sometimes you have to blame yourself because you're bored out your head. You need to go to the gym, exercise, go and touch grass, go and kick a ball or two, or do something constructive with your life instead of sitting on social media and making a mockery of yourself and tarnishing people's characters. That's not cool. You know what else isn't cool? The fact that you guys have not hit that like button. That's also not cool, but I'm not going to hold it against you. Leroy Bailey. Listen, guys, unless I have short-term memory, some of you look new to me in the comment section, but big up yourself, Leroy Bailey. Jamrock Rentals, such a joy to see him finally done in the jersey. Up. Herman Willis says, up, big up, Talawa, respect what you are doing. Oh, thank you. Big up yourself. It's been going for 2 years. Oh, Damari's been playing for us for 2 years. Time flies. Oh my God, time flies. Brownman Security 33 good sound says Jamaica fans can't be. It really can't be, please. And I am gonna stick a pin in it. They really can't be, because I'm looking and I'm thinking, if you don't want Holgate, who the hell do you want? Like, realistically, who do you want? Who do you actually want? Like, who out there, which player out there is good enough for you? Who do you want? You don't want this Amania, you don't want that one, you don't want. Who do you actually want, Jamaica? Well, you want the Jamaica Football Federation to go bring you Messi in his prime, Ronaldinho in his prime, Zidane in his prime? Who do you guys actually want? Because you get the players that you're searching for, you get the squad depth that you're asking for, and then you still turn around and say, yeah, that's not good. Without the players even being given a chance to prove themselves. Without them giving a chance to prove themselves, you just write them off. Yeah, he's not good. Like, come on, like, do better. Do better. Big up yourself as well, Ronaldo. They are looking for views and likes. You know, it's one thing when it's coming from the YouTubers themselves, and I'm guessing that's what you're talking about because you says views and likes, but it also comes from the guys in the comment section as well. Like, what I saw came from the guys in the comment section. I didn't even see it come from YouTubers. I saw it come from guys in the comment section. Conrad said the hate is real. Dr. Hero, is it Hero or Hero? I'm sorry if I butchered your name. It says, I totally agree. Paul Watkins, big up yourself. Hi, good night. You're doing a good job. Thank you. 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 So Nightingale is in the comment section still, but we're not gonna give you I'm not going to give you no airtime, young lady. Okay? Whatever float your boats, young lady. I'm glad that you find whatever it is that floats your boat. I hope you sleep well at night. I hope you go to your bed dreaming of the Reggae Boys, because that is clearly your intention. Please, Nightingale or Nightingale, whatever I'm gonna call you Nightingale because that's how you behave. You behave like a stereotypical look gal. So that's what I'm going to be referring to you as. Okay. I love the little box braids that you've got going on in your little display picture there. Very cute, very Barbie. Keep it up. All right. Big up yourself. The locals, them don't like me because I tell the truth sometimes. You know what? I'm not here to be liked. I'm not here to be liked. I'm here to say my 2 pence and keep it pushing. I'm not here to be liked, but if you come at me, I'm going to come at you. You don't come in my comment section and be disrespectful, and when I shut you down, you cry. You cry like a baby. You don't do that. Okay, Nightingale, I'm pretty sure you can go back and listen to the live stream. I did not come at you. You came at me and I defended myself. And I'm going to continue to defend myself, Miss Lady. All right? So you just go ahead and relax in the comment section. All right? I don't know if it's a menstrual cycle thing with you, whatever it is. I've been there, and I will forgive you. All right? I know how it goes every time, at different time of the month. It become a little bit, emotional. So that's what it is. You're emotional in the comment section. I'm gonna let you off, Nightingale, all right? Because we've all been there, woman to woman. Me and you have been there. We have been there, no doubt. But big up yourself. I don't have no what do I call it now? I don't have no contacts with the JFF, so I can't put you in touch with the Reggae Boys. All right. So if you want a quick little block, I can arrange that quick little blocks for you. It's not a problem. One more nonsense out of you and you get an instant block and delete. All right? Relax yourself. Right, we're going to continue, guys, with the rest of the conversation. I'm going to talk about something else there. Another player who you guys love so dearly. And again, because it is still puzzling my head, I'm still a little bit lost. Before we get into talking about Leon Bailey, we're going to stick a pin in it and we're going to look at this has there been any announcement from the Jamaica Football Federation? I think that's what I should probably search for on their. Okay, so they've posted up Mason Holgate. Oh, let me scroll past that. I don't want a copyright, and some Leon, some Michael Antonio, couple training sessions there. I'll call it less than 24 hours ago, first training session, some same goal, greatness on the field. You can see the couple pictures there. And don't want that because I don't want a copyright. So they don't seem like they've done any announcement there. Maybe I might have missed. Have I missed any announcement, guys? Let me know if I've missed any announcement as it relates to the Reggae Boys. I'm going to dive right into the CONCACAF Reggae Boys squad. We're going to start things off between the sticks. And we're going to be doing this between the sticks, in defense, midfield, and forward. Okay. So sit tight and let me go ahead and read it out to you. Between the sticks, we have a selection of Andre Blake, Shaquan Davis, and Jamali Waite. In defense, we have Dexter Lambakisa, Deshaun Bernard, Greg Lee, Damian Low, John Bell, Richard King, Tavon Gray, Ethan Pinnock, and Mason Holgate. In midfield, we have Casey Palmer, Karoy Anderson, Bobby Reed, Joel Lativade, and Tyreek McGee. For forwards, we have Ronaldo Cephas, Norman Campbell, Michael Antonio, Damari Gray, Kaheem Dixon, and Romario Williams. And that is how we are looking there in the call up for the national squad. This game has actually come upon me quicker than I expected. So as I said to you guys, this is going to be played 3 a.m. Friday morning for me. So this match is going to be played on a Thursday for you guys, right? At a different time, right? So let's go ahead and talk about Mr. Leon Bailey. Before I do so, let's try and see if we can go ahead and put some meat on our arguments. Right. So where should we start? Where should we start with Leon Bailey? There seems to be some confusion there as it relates to Leon Bailey, right? And I think for the most part, I'm not here to try and what's the word I'm searching for? I am not here to try and convince anyone to believe what's been said of Leon Bailey as it relates to Unai Emery and Leon Bailey himself. So for context, backtracking a bit, Leon Bailey picked up a hamstring injury way back in last month, just before the stroke or on the stroke of the international break, right? And he picked up that hamstring injury against Leicester City. Now, I think in fairness, I'm trying to be as fair as I can with understanding where some people are at with Leon. I think from what I can see, for what's been said about Leon Bailey in terms of the evaluation and the criticism, I think when it comes to the criticism, a lot of it is oftentimes maximized. And I think this quick recovery, as some people are looking at it, where the hamstring injury is concerned, has probably poked holes into the legitimacy of the injury, and I think that then unintentionally has opened up the inevitable question pertaining to commitment. You know, I think commitment for in any given situation as it relates to players is somewhat subjective. There is different layers of context there that we have to chime into context and understanding. I think it's not factual, the term commitment, when we look at players. I think oftentimes or maybe sometimes it can't be deemed as factual, right? So going back to the injury there, the hamstring injury, I feel like I want to be so fair with the minority who are so loud in our space. I feel like some people just don't understand how injuries work. I think, I probably was once like that, except now when it comes to injuries, I do my extra research and I look and I go and do my reading, because growing up and watching football, when I heard of hamstring injury, I was like mental breakdown. I was like, okay, oh no, the player is going to be out for a season. Like I start thinking ACL, you're out for the whole entire season. But hamstring injury has different levels in terms of grade. You know, as I've said on other live stream, in terms of the comeback period, it depends on the grade and the level of the injury. So, for example, a minor muscle pull or strain in the UK, I don't know outside of the UK, but in the UK, for example, that's considered a grade 1, right? So the grade 1 may take a few days to heal, whereas it could take somewhat weeks or months to recover from a muscle tear. So be it grade 2 or grade 3. And I think it's important for us to have those things etched in the back of our minds. If we don't already know, then try to, and I don't mean to sound condescending, but try to like educate ourselves when we're looking at players before we go off in our think pieces and so on. Now, as it relates to Leon Bailey, I think for the most part, he's at that point in his career where he's damned if he does and damned if he doesn't. Because I know for a fact, and you guys in the comment section can testify, that we often can see these performances with that Leon Bailey chimes out, and you can see that he is ineffective when he teams up, when he dons the black, gold, and green jersey. And I think if we are being honest with ourselves, since his return from that injury there, where he picked up that hamstring injury against Leicester City, Bobby Reid's Leicester City last month, he has been ineffective for Aston Villa, namely against the Manchester United. And we're going to talk about Manchester United as I go through the show. And I spoke to a friend, big up Deluded Guna. I didn't watch that game against Manchester United, Aston Villa versus Manchester United. So I went and I asked someone who I trust with their evaluation, someone who isn't going to feed me lies. And I asked him, how was Leon Bailey for the game just before I went on air? And he basically said that Leon offered nothing, right? Paraphrasing, he offered nothing. He was dead. He said he was dead. So I was thinking to myself, for what we know of Leon Bailey and his performances for the Jamaica national team, why on earth would you all want an ineffective Leon Bailey, who is currently ineffective for Aston Villa, playing for Jamaica, because it can definitely be argued that so far when it comes to the national team, for some of you it might be like there's no arguments. When it comes to the national team, he has yet to show up. So given that he has yet to show up and his performances has tended to be, sorry to say, piss poor in the national team, why are you up in your feelings now that he is not showing up for this particular window? Because he's not showing up for Aston Villa as it stands. Now, I will go as far as to say that I do not, as I've said so many times, I am not privy to certain type of information, in the sense that I do not have inside sources, so I cannot verify or testify whether a player is legitimately injured. But what I can do is work with what's in front of me, and what's in front of me again isn't exclusive. It's not I'm going above and beyond to find stories. It's stories that is right there in front of us. And one of the most obvious one, I think, is about football becoming, as things stand, is probably the most congested it has ever been. Right, if we're just focusing on Leon Bailey, for example, he has a host of competitions that he could potentially play in. Right, so to name a few, he's obviously got the Premier League, he's got League Cup, he's got FA Cup, international friendlies. We're just talking about, broadly speaking, Gold Cup, Nations League, Copa America. Now, all of that varies. Your Copa America, your Nations League, your Gold Cup, international friendlies, they varies, right? It depends on, qualification and how far you go inside each respective competition. Same goes for your FA Cup and your League Cup when Aston Villa enters a particular round, and then, how long they go during the competition, whether they go on to the latter stages and potentially winning the cup. It all depends. Premier League, what's that, 38 games that they are expected to play. Obviously, for the most part, he's not going to play all 38 games. But saying that to say, we already know that football, as things stand, is the most congested as it has ever been. Probably, I'll go as far to say since its existence. There is fixtures, new competition coming up ever so often, to the point where the players are being vocal and pretty much saying enough is enough. They cannot take it no more. And I'm pretty sure you guys would have seen this one there in front of you from Rodri, who coincidentally, surprise, surprise, he actually has an injury of his own. I believe this one was the ACL injury, which he picked up playing against Arsenal. And the headline does read for itself. I hope you guys can see this, by the way. Yes, you can. It says, will players really strike over too much football? And from Rodri there, it says, we have to take care of ourselves. Now, I'll go ahead and read the most important bit there. I won't bore you to death. It does say Manchester City midfielder Rodri said on Tuesday that players were close to taking strike action over their increased workload. The Spain midfielder played 63 competitive games for club and country last season and featured over 6,107 minutes between July 2023 and July 2024, including preseason friendlies. I don't know about you guys. Yes, some people will be a little bit dense and say, well, they played a incredible amount of money, so they should just get on with it. And I think that's the wrong mindset to have, but because before they are athletes, before they're footballers or your track and field athletes, your field athletes, netballers, they are first and foremost human beings just like you and I. They bleed just like you and I. They cry just like you and I. They are not privy to things that you and I are privy to. So if they're having a bad day, if they have like a knock, and yes, footballers do play with knock. I know that's not breaking news. We all know these things, but we're choosing to ignore the obvious, ignore what we already know. If they have a knock, or I don't know, a bruised ribs, in most cases, they're just being told to get on with it. They're not privy to certain stuff like you and I, where they can just call in sick, where they can just cash in on their annual leave. They just have to get on with it. Now, looking at players who have played with injuries, because I've seen a couple of people say they don't believe that Leon Bailey's injury is legitimate, and I've said to myself, but where is the evidence to say that it isn't? I'm all for, if you can show me the evidence to say that his injury isn't legitimate, I'm all for it. Show it to me so we can then have a conversation. But if you can't present that, then why are you poking holes in something that happens with other players? You know, let's look at Bukayo Saka of Arsenal. You know, last season, you can ask other Arsenal fans as well, or you probably know if you watch football that Saka pretty much played an entire season injured, right? To the point where you had a lot of Arsenal fans that were worrying and pleading for Mikel Arteta on the board to get additional support for him, right? Because they wanted Saka to be protected. They wanted Mikel Arteta to take precaution to ensure that this injury that he was carrying isn't aggravated, to also ensure that it doesn't trigger a burnout. Now, these are things that is not new to football. We've seen, if you look at the likes of your Michael Owen from history, even now, aside from Saka, you look at Marcus Rashford. Me, as someone who grew up hating Manchester United, even I was looking at him and thinking, why is this man playing with injuries? When are you going to take caution and take care of your body before your body has to take a break on its own? Because we've known, you don't have to be a fan of Manchester United, you've seen Marcus Rashford play through injuries for club and country. And you know, it got to a point where people would say to themselves, he's going to end up like a Michael Owen. And the same gets said with Saka. Saying that to say players playing with injuries, guys, is not far-fetched. It is not breaking a news story. I don't understand why we can believe it for those other players, but we can't believe it when it's one of our own. Why is it that everything that gets said about Leon Bailey is always scrutinized? Why is it that you guys would believe that he's going to be faking an injury? And it's so crazy because in that particular match there where people are saying, oh, okay, but he played the match against Manchester United. How is he now saying that, how could he play the match if he was injured? I've already given you guys examples of players who have played whilst they are injured, like footballers, namely playing when they have knocks here and there, or playing when they're not 100% fit. You know within yourself that that's not uncommon. You know within yourself that that does happen. It's not uncommon. It has been happening. And unfortunately, the way things stand, the way football's looking, it probably will continue to happen. Whether that will come to an end, I don't know. Maybe things need to be set in place. Maybe they need to enhance the squad size in terms of the bench, that is, not the actual starting 11. But even so, I was reading the other day, there's a host of players now who played over the weekend who have pulled out of their international duty. Leon Bailey is not the only one that's pulled out. Yes, we've had Boyz, though he's pulled out for different reasons, which I wholeheartedly respect. You've got Kai Havertz of Arsenal. He's pulled out from Germany. Garnacho has pulled out. Kobe Mainoo has pulled out. In the past, we have seen Watkins, Foden, and Palmer, for example. They've pulled out recently. Konza and Gibbs White have also pulled out. And I'll go ahead and bring that up for you guys. And also, Harry Maguire is another player that's pulled out for England. And it's so funny because I think we all know by now that it doesn't matter how bad Harry Maguire plays. Doesn't even matter if he's getting his minutes there. He gets called up for England, right? Because under Gareth Southgate, he showed up for England. When England played against USA in the 2022 Men's World Cup, I thought that he was the main player on that occasion and for that particular match. I thought he was solid. So you've got this right here, Gibbs White, Konsa, and Mayo out for England. And I'm decided to share this piece with you guys because these are the players there that, a bit like your Leon Bailey, played over the weekend. You can see here England's Morgan, Gibbs White, Konza, and Kobe Mayo all picked up injuries for their clubs with this weekend. So are we all going to sit here and say Gibbs White, Konza, and Mayo are faking their injuries? Because that is the narrative with Leon Bailey, right? So if Leon Bailey is faking his injuries, is Kai Havertz faking his injury? That's probably subjective. I don't know if you guys believe that that's the case. Yes, there has been times where we sit back and we look and we say to ourselves, this player is definitely not injured. But so why can't the same be said for Leon Bailey? And I chose to talk about Kobe Mayo. We're going to talk about Kobe Mayo in a sec. But the most important paragraph there, it says England's Morgan Gibbs White and Ezri Konsa and Kobe Mayo have been ruled out of England's Nations League games in October. And it does go on to speak in a little bit more, but the most important information there comes towards the end of that report. Nottingham Forest midfielder Gibbs White, who made his England debut last month, was injured while having a shot blocked in a 1-1 draw against Chelsea. Aston Villa defender Konsa suffered a hamstring injury in Sunday's goalless draw with Manchester United. United midfielder Mayo, who was replaced in the closing stages of that particular match. And I'm going to stick a pin in it and focus a little bit more on Kobe, because I think his situation is fairly similar to Leon Bailey, not like for like, but some people, for context, it could be argued that he came into this match injured, right? Because some people are saying, if Leon Bailey was injured, why did he play? And I'm asking that same question. Since he's making things up, since Unai Emery and Leon Bailey are making things up, that means Eric Ten Hag and young Kobe Mayo is also making things up. Continuing on my conversation there for Kobe Mayo, it does say Manchester United suffer new Kobe Mayo injury worry as announcement made. Now, the most important information there, adding to context to what I've said in terms of Kobe Mayo potentially coming into this game with an injury, just like a Leon Bailey, or at best, most certainly not 100% fit. It says Kobe Mayo has withdrawn from England duty because of injury. It has been confirmed in a statement. The midfielder played 85 minutes of the Premier League draw against Aston Villa, having missed the chaotic 3-3 draw Porto stalemate after going off with a suspected hamstring injury in the defeat to Tottenham the previous weekend. So clearly he would have come into that game not being 100% fit. So then do we look at a Kobe Mayo and say, okay, you're also lying as well? You don't, and I'm not trying to hear this nonsense about you don't care about those players because they're not playing for Jamaica, because I think that that is a lie. I think that that is a lie. I think some of you, the minority that happens to be so damn loud, you are selective with your understanding when it comes to certain players. It's not just Leon Bailey, it's spread across the board. It's also for the Reggae girls as well. You are selective when it comes to your understanding, because it makes sense when it's not Leon Bailey. It makes sense when it's your club that benefits, because some of you, not all of you, but some of you most certainly love your club more than you love Jamaica. So for example, if a couple of the big stars from their respective club, the poster boys of today, so like if these couple of players which I'm about to name had Jamaican heritage and plays for Jamaica, you would be silent if they played for your respective clubs as well. So for the Chelsea fans, if it was Palmer and Palmer plays for Jamaica and Palmer was pulled out in the same manner that Leon Bailey pulled out, you would be silent. If it was Arsenal and Saka, you would be silent. If it was United and Mayo, you would be silent. If it was Liverpool and Van Dijk, you would be silent. If it was Bellingham and Real Madrid, you would be silent, because for some of you who are irritatingly loud, you love your club more than you love your country. And so long as it's not Leon Bailey, it makes perfect sense. Stop acting like players playing with injuries is brand new. Stop acting like it is far-fetched for players to play with injuries. And I want people to actually show us the evidence. Show us the evidence, because clearly some of you are privy to information that we're not privy to. So show us the evidence where Leon Bailey and Unai Emery are lying. That's all I'm saying. Like, just let us know where they are lying, because players playing with injuries, it is not brand new. It does happen. It does happen. So if you're saying that he is doing this because he wants to avoid playing for Jamaica, does that make sense to you? Does it make sense that he would go through all of that to pretend? Like, do you think this is the bloody movies? Do you think you're watching Disney Channel where you're living in a fairy tale world? You think that he could jeopardize his starting 11 in that Aston Villa team? Do you think he could jeopardize the potential of someone young, someone more talented than him coming in and taking his spot, or because he wants to avoid playing for Jamaica? Does that really make sense to you all? You think he's going to fake an injury at the detriment of risking being replaced, of risking being sat on the bench and being made to rot? Because if this is something that he is doing, you could probably argue and say Unai Emery is out of the loop. But you don't think that they have doctors at the clubs that's testing to see if he's well and truly injured? Do you actually think he's going to go out of his way and give a piss poor performance against one of the biggest clubs in the country, in the world, Manchester United? You don't think that Leon Bailey would have wanted to give Manchester United, give Aston Villa fans, I should say, a 10 out of 10 performance against Manchester United, given that he's already clipped Arsenal wings and he's clipped Manchester City wings? You don't think he wants to add Manchester United to that list? Or are you guys going to try and convince us that he's a Manchester United fan, so therefore he decided not to go all out? Where do you guys get the time to spin your narratives? Where do you guys get your time to spin your narratives? You're saying that you could see for yourself. If you go back and watch the games, and I've been looking at Leon Bailey, and I noticed the pattern from Unai Emery that he was not getting 90 plus minutes in the tank. Clearly, Unai Emery was trying to manage him appropriately. He is coming back from an injury. So if you guys are saying that a hamstring injury that he picked up last month against Leicester City, prove it to the rest of us so that we can be on the same page as you. Because if not, we can only go with what's in front of us. We can't go with what you guys are making up in your heads. Like, we can't do that. Like, we just can't do that. It doesn't hold water. Your argument don't hold water. Players playing with injuries is not uncommon. It's not uncommon. Like, and if you don't know that, then go and do your own research. Players play with injuries all the time. So many players already have had to pull out, because it might be an injury that's not a big deal to you guys, but it's an injury where they have to 100% be monitored. They have to be monitored. They can't just get up and say, yes, I'm going to go ahead and do that. They can't, because they could aggravate their injury. One injury can lead to another injury that was separate from the first injury, and it's a knock-on effect. So they can't do that. They cannot do it, guys. So please, let's stop acting like players playing with injuries is something brand new. Like, if this is something brand new, then go ahead and knight Bailey then. Call him Sir Bailey. Call him Sir Bailey. If this is something that he has made up on his own, go ahead and call him Sir Bailey, because I don't understand. I really don't understand. Oh, I see what you guys are saying. Hamo done. I'm an all-rounder. What position did you play? And it's not even like that. It's not even like that. If that's how it's coming across, I promise you it's not even like that. I just don't understand. The one bit that rubbed me up the wrong way is the way that Mason Holgate's being treated. That's the thing that's just rubbed me up the wrong way, because the young man has yet to kick a ball for us, and already people are raining on his parade. Like, let people live. Like, if you're miserable, stay in your own lane. Be miserable in your own lane, but don't expose yourself to the rest of us. Like, put on some clothes. Put on some clothes. What number are you using, Jeremy Lee? You've lost me with that one there, Jeremy Lee. Why are people making such fuss over Bailey? If and when he's ready and the coach want to invite him, then we should be having a conversation. And I think it should be as easy and simple as that, because people say that he isn't good for Jamaica. So why you want somebody who's not good to come and play for us? If he's spoiled goods, why the hell do you want him? Why you want him to come and play for Jamaica if he isn't good? You can't have your cake and eat it too, guys. You say you don't want him. Now he's not here and you're still complaining. So what do want? What do really and truly want? Because when you done cuss him out and say him not good, him this, him that, you don't have him now and you're still miserable. Like, what do you guys want? I feel like some people, and it's the minority again, I feel like you want him to show up so you can have a stinker so that you can then further your criticism of him. I feel like that's what some of you guys want. You just want him to have come up, a shame himself, have a piss poor performance, so that you guys can jump on his back even more. Like, let it make sense. Let it make sense. I think you guys have a unique habit. You're wonderful at making nonsense out of sense. I don't know how you guys managed to do that one, but you're extremely great at making nonsense out of sense. I personally don't want to participate in that. Keep that trick up your sleeve. I do not want you to share that one with me. Richard Green, hello to yourself. Bailey is injured, people hating. And you know what? Even if he isn't injured, like, then let us know. Show us that he's not injured then. But for what I'm saying, for what I can see, based on someone that's been watching football since I was a young girl, little girl, I've been seeing players play with injuries. It's nothing new. Like, when I was much younger, I used to question it in the same way that some people question. I'd be like, well, if he's injured, why is he playing then? But there's a thing called science. And whilst I don't endorse it, players playing with painkillers and players playing with injection is a thing. It is a thing, guys. It is New Media 876. Big up yourself. I hope you're in good health. They do like the local tenement yard. They do like it. Them, no disrespect to people living in a tenement yard. Do your thing. As long as you have a roof over your head, do your thing. Machines to help him or other players. But you know what it is? Yeah, I agree with you, but what I don't understand is people acting as if it's far-fetched. It's not bloody far-fetched for him to be injured. We saw Kobe Mayo, the article is right there in front of you. He picked up an injury against Manchester United, missed the 6-goal thriller there against Porto, and then he played in the last game against Manchester United. So are we going to say that young Kobe Mayo is lying? At what point are we going to, where do we draw the line in terms of how do you differentiate if someone is faking an injury? Are you going to say that if they did it 1 month before the call up, it's genuine, but if they just so happen to get injured in a game before the call up, it's not genuine? Because maybe that's the conversation that you guys want us to have, right? That's why when players hurt, they don't go to Jamaica, they go back to their club for treatment. Yeah, for rehab. Jeremy Lee says everyone is entitled to their own opinion and Bailey is not protected by any special. Yeah, you're right. And I have said this on my previous live stream, so you might not be aware of that. I am not saying that Leon Bailey is blameless. I've already touched on that, Jeremy, and I understand what you're saying. He's not blameless for the way that the fans see him or way the fans perceive him. He's not totally blameless. We can all agree on that he's not blameless. But as I said, the thing that rubs me up the wrong way is the fact that you're questioning the legitimacy of the injury, of his injury. But you have players that play for your own clubs who have pulled out because of said injuries. So are we now saying that they're all lying then? And if they are lying, that then opens up another conversation, because we have to say to ourselves, why are players using the international break to rest? Because essentially that's what they're doing, right? If we're saying Leon and all those Havertz and your Watkins and your Palmer and your Mayo are lying, we then have to ask ourselves, why are they using the international break as their rest period? And then we have to look to the football authorities and just call them out for their nonsense, because it's clear and obvious that they're playing one too many games. They're not robots, they're human beings. So that for me is an even bigger conversation than to say you're lying without proof. Like, where is the proof? Big up yourself, Unseen Sports. If you aren't aware of Unseen Sports, do head over to his channel and kindly hit the like button. Go ahead and support his channel. Also hit the subscribe button as well. Bailey, you're not in the same position just like when he first went to Villa. Only last season he had a spark. Yeah, and I'm sure, you know what, I didn't even think of that. And that's why I like when you guys speak in the comment section, because I didn't even think, yes, of course, you're right, because it was Unai Emery that rejuvenated Leon Bailey. I think I still haven't seen the Leon Bailey at Bayer Leverkusen. And I think if memory serves me well, he had his own injuries here and there with Bayer Leverkusen. I'm not sure to what extent that might have spill over into Aston Villa, but he had his own injuries here and there, you know. And I've yet to see that Bayer Leverkusen at Leon Bailey. I'm sure he wants to get back to that or surpass that. So one way of him doing that is to better manage himself. I think we all need to remind ourselves that football, particularly played at club level, is these guys 9 to 5. It is their 9 to 5. I know some of you, especially when you live in foreign countries, if you're unwell, and it depends on how unwell you are, you're not going into work. You're just not doing it. And you know, international break is an extension of work. It's an extension of work. So if he is not 100% well, as what is also said for Boyz, then who are we to question it, but how are we going to question it without looking at evidence? Like, where is the evidence? We can't just get up and say that you're lying, you know? I can't believe how many Jamaicans want Leon Bailey to fail. It's the slavery mentality, says Richard King. Look, I have to take a step back when it comes to the conversation about Leon Bailey, because even I got trapped at one point. At one point, I couldn't do what I'm doing now. I think if you go and check back my content, back in the past, I didn't really speak about Leon because my idea and my impression of him isn't what it was now. And I can only blame myself for the content that I was consuming and what I was listening to, and how that unfortunately back then shaped my opinion of him, you know? And so now, having just taken a step back and I'm back to giving you guys content, I have to reassess my situation, and I have to think of how to be balanced and objective, because I can't just come out here and just speak purely from an emotional perspective. When you love your job, it's inevitable that your emotions will sweep through. I think we can all agree with that. So it's not entirely possible for us to remove our emotions. Like, emotions is part of football at the end of the day. No one wants a emotionless player playing for them. You need emotions. Emotions drive you to success. So yeah, you know, I've been in a lot of people's position. It's just, thankfully, I've segued and I've like taken a back step. And what really changed my opinion on Leon Bailey was, like I said, a month ago, when I found out from my own research there that he has the Leon Bailey Foundation. And then I said to myself, so if he has a Leon Bailey Foundation that gives back to Cassava Peace, where he's from in Jamaica, it cannot be said that he does not love Jamaica. You can separate the two, in my opinion. You can say he perhaps doesn't enjoy playing for Jamaica, or he doesn't love the Jamaica Football Federation, and that holds water. But when you say that he doesn't love his country, one has to wonder where you get that from, because again, the evidence speaks for itself. You know, Leon Bailey, if he wanted to, the Leon Bailey Foundation could be given back to the kids in Birmingham and in Leverkusen in Germany, but instead he's giving it back to his country of birth. He's giving it back to Cassava Peace. So when you say you don't love Jamaica, again, I just think we have to question that as well, because I for one don't believe that that's true. They're making lots of money. Will player play less for less money? That's a great question. That's not something that I have considered. I think it's a case. I think what the players are probably saying now is you don't need to add it to their calendar. So the income and the salary would stay the same unless you're going back to the drawing board and renegotiating. And if you're one of the star players, your club is going to give you what you want. They're not going to give you less. And I think that is a lovely question there. I love this question, because it could be a case where you have to take this to court, because you have to think about the mental health aspect and how you are affected, and how these heavy number of competitions and games are affecting these players and their mentality, right? So it actually goes back, Rob Green said something about slave mentality. it's a little bit like how these athletes are being treated. Sometimes they look like they're being treated like circus clowns, and you know they have no say, no control in what's being paid to them. Football is, I think it's safe for us to say, $1 billion or £1 billion industry. The money is there to pay them handsomely. So why not pay them? You know, the owners and your CEOs and your shareholders, stakeholders, they can't be the only one that's living handsomely. The players have to live handsomely as well, because they're the ones going out there and doing the dirty work. So they have to be paid handsomely. And yes, we would like to see your doctors and your nurses and, you know, all these heroes without capes also paid handsomely. But we live in an unfair world. We live in an unfair world. Less game, but also less money. They could also force the teams to cut minutes they are playing per week. I am surprised that with the number of American owners in the Premier League, I don't know, maybe they've mentioned it already, but I'm surprised they haven't made suggestion to enhance the squad size. I think it's got to that point now. If these fixtures are going to stay the way they are, if they're going to be introducing new competition, if they're going to be tweaking competitions like your Champions League and bringing new competitions to the board, then to the table, then they need to also be looking at increasing squad size. You know, I'm not asking for something like the NFL, but I do think you need to increase your squad size. I've not watched NFL live in the UK. I feel like they have like at least 50 plus players, right, in their squad. I'm not saying give us 50 plus players, but it makes sense to have big squads. It's an impact sport at the end of the day, you know. And yes, football, as we call it, different to the NFL, where they call it football as well. It's different types of games. Physicality is different, but let's look at the number of the games that our footballers are playing and assess. The highest level of football is modern slavery. They don't even get the time to enjoy their millions. Amen. Amen. They don't. And I feel sorry for them. How much it sucks that you can't even enjoy Christmas. Christmas is a time for people who are religious or non-religious. That is for some people, it's their favorite time of the year because they look forward to family time. For some of these players, for the most part, they're out training. When we're at home with our loved ones, these guys are out there training in the rain, in the snow. They're out there training. They're missing out on invaluable family time. For some of them, they're missing out on their sons and their daughters' first Christmas. And that means something, because that's a milestone that they will never get back. So yes, you know, they are human beings, and they unfortunately have to put their job first. It's not they're not like us where they can call in sick. They can't just say they need an annual leave and go and book a week in wherever they want to go. Like it's not like that. They have to. It is modern day slavery. They can only walk when they're told to walk. Some can only speak when they're told to speak. Some can only live when they're told to live. So it's not that fabulous of a lifestyle, if we're being honest with ourselves. I think you're right, Dan. Big up yourself. CC says that, big up yourself, CC Sport. If you are not familiar with CC Sports, do head over to his channel, hit the like and subscribe button. CC said he doesn't think that Mason Holgate is international material. You're entitled to your opinion. I can respect that. If you think that he's not entitled, I can definitely respect that. Each to their own. There's nothing wrong with those type of opinions, but when people are already calling him walking red card and they're already writing him off, it's almost as if they're trying to speak certain things into existence just so they can say, yes, I told you that's what he's like. His name eludes me. Damian Low has been classed as a walking red card, but when you look at Jamaica, he has 2 red cards to his name. So you can't exactly call him a walking red card. To be honest, though, Crystal, I wouldn't be silent for Palmer. I love my country more than club. But as I said, CC, for the minority, there are definitely people out there who love their their club more than their country, you know, especially when their club is looking like they can win the Champions League or looking like they can win the Premier League. They're going to say to hell with their country. They wouldn't care. They're going to say, no, Arsenal need you, Chelsea need you, Man United need you, Liverpool need you, Manchester City need you. They're not going to care about their country. Not saying you per se, but there are definitely people out there who think the opposite of you, a push back against the club situation. As I said, not everyone is like you. There are some minority out there who definitely think that way, you know. Unfortunately, big up yourself, Eddie Guna. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Eddie Guna's channel, but if you aren't familiar, do head over to his channel and hit the subscribe button. Also, go ahead and hit the like button as well. I have my reason why I said that. Yeah, put me in goal, put me in defense, put me in midfield. It's so funny that you say that because I actually love playing cricket. Yeah, I love playing cricket and basketball as well. Those are my two like favorite sports to play. Which is funny for obvious reasons. But yeah, I love cricket. I love playing cricket. God, I do love cricket. RR says it makes attractive clickbait content. As I said, it's not more so about the content creators. I don't know if you guys are thinking that I'm alluding to content creators. I'm not, as I said before, I'm alluding to guys in the comment section. But maybe you guys are telling me that you've seen something separate to what I've seen. Good night to yourself, Colin. I hope you're in good health. Rasta Gale, Mbappe is going through exactly the same criticism as we speak. Not unusual for fans to question players' loyalty. Yes, and that is, no one is exempt from being questioned. No one is definitely exempt from being questioned. I'm not sure at what point you chimed into the live stream, but as I said, my gripe is people in traditional media, new media, as well. When you look at the tool in terms of the interaction and the engagement, they're acting as if a player cannot play with an injury. That is my point. My point is not that he should not be criticized or he shouldn't be questioned. I've not at no point said that he shouldn't be questioned. And do correct me if I am lying to you. If I've said that Leon should not be questioned, then do let me know, because I don't believe I've actually said that. I have said that players can play with injuries, as we have seen, and the article there in front of you supports that. With Manchester United's could be MGZ, big up yourself. He says ball is life. I'm not sure, is that another YouTube channel? I don't know if that's another YouTube channel, but if it is, then do go ahead and give it a follow, subscribe, I should say. And if it is a YouTube channel, then I can see on the Jamaica colors and what looks like someone is running. But yeah, let me know if that's the YouTube channel. Players used to resign from international football to reset, Victor Moses, and concentrate on what pays the bill. All it takes is one injury. That's all I'm saying. Flavor Max TV, big up yourself, Flavor Max TV. I hope you are well. One Arsenal. Saguna. Bailey and Ravel will be back whether we like it or not. Danny Dread, big up yourself, Danny Dread. I hope you are in good health. Dan says they are slaves. Danny, never hear you last night. Owen. Okay. All right. Let me put the, I don't know what CC's coming with no, but brace yourself. Let me put the link in the comment section for Mr. CC Sports. He says, can he come in? Of course he can. They said Holgate not getting any game time at his club. That's a concern for me. No player must be selected. And then it's like me and you are singing from the same hymn sheets. I agree with what you are saying, but here's the thing, Dan. We've already shot ourselves in the foot, because as I said, the moment that you allow yourself to call up players who are free agents, anything goes, in my opinion, Dan. And it's something that we have seen with the Reggae girls, and it's something that we've seen with the Reggae boys. So for me, the moment you call up players who don't belong to a club or are free agents. People have to side eye you and look at you and ask, well, what are you doing? So then it just goes to show that, okay, Mason Holgate, whilst he is not playing minutes, he does have a club. Because for me, you cannot be calling up free agents. And it's not a personal jab at no player in particular. It's just something that I believe in terms of policy and standard and professionalism, right? So he has a club. And I will say, once you have your club there and you are playing, yes, you might not be playing the minutes that suits each person's merit in terms of subjectivity, but you know, I think paraphrasing, looking back at the squad announcement there from Steve McLaren, something to do with John Russell's that he didn't get a call up because he's not getting the desired minutes, something of that ilk, and apparently that's now the standard. So I have to look at Steve McLaren and I have to say to himself, that is madness. That's madness that you're coming up with. And I will say that it's madness because I don't want no one telling me that give Steve McLaren, it was Steve McLaren's first squad announcement when a particular player, and I don't want to name him because I don't want to put a bad light on him, was called up as a free agent. Because let's remind ourselves that we have seen Steve McLaren be a bull in a pen. When he came into that England national setup and he stripped one of the greatest footballers that the country has ever seen and as the world's ever seen in David Beckham of his captaincy and pushed him to the side and pushed Sol Campbell to the side and pushed David James to the side. Those are what you call a ballsy move. You've made a big move. That's not a small move. That's a big move. So if you can do that for England, where you're dealing with, no disrespect to our own bigger superstars, either in their prime or even now, then surely you can do the same for Jamaica, because if he was the England gaffer, there's no way in hell he's calling up free agents. He's not calling up free agents. Then he has a club. I thought the coach said a player will not be if he doesn't have a club. I think he said, to be fair to him, I think he was talking about minutes accumulated at club level. If I'm not mistaken, correct me in the comment section, but I think that's what he said. Shy Smith, big up yourself, Shy. I hope you are okay, hope you're in good health. Yeah, just give the young man a chance, give the young man a chance. Let's bring ourselves into the habit of speaking positivity. Don't sit there and call the young man a walking red card. Where you get that from? Where you get that from that is, and now, God go with him, because if he does go and get a red card, God forbid, they're going to say, see, told you so, because that's what they want. These minority Reggae Boyz fans, they will cut off their nose to spite their faces. They will cut off their nose to spite their faces. I promise you that there will be some of them praying that a Holgate goes and puts a foot wrong, that a Damian Low puts his foot wrong, so he gets sent off, and they say, see, I tell you, say I'm a walking red card. They're still not walking red cards. Even if, God forbid, those two gents there picked up a red card, in their whole career of Damian Low, 6 or 7 games played for Jamaica, 2 red card. That is not a walking red card player. That is not a walking red card player. It can't be said that he's a walking red card. Again, to reiterate, Holgate there in terms of somewhat of 237 games for clubs, including his parent club, Everton, 3 red cards. You cannot call them people they walk in red card. So what the hell would you call a player that has 20 red cards? You call that a madman. You will call that a man that needs to be assessed. He needs to be assessed. He needs to be watched carefully. Because if you're saying a player with minimum center backs, the two of them, minimum, they have between the two of them 5 red cards, right? Club level for Holgate, international level for Damian Low, center backs, right? 5 red cards. If they are deemed walking red cards, then I don't know. Maybe I'm reading the game poorly, right? So my apologies. The coach is searching for answers at central defensive midfield. I don't think Holgate came to play as center back or right back. Good shout. Friend of the match, the show was early. Catch the replay. Big up yourself, Danny Dread. Shy Smith, like and subscribe. Show the Empress. Yeah, please do, guys. Please. I'm trying to take this to 5K subscribers before the end of the year. I'm going to be honest, guys. I'm not saying I've given up, but I don't think I'm gonna make it. I don't think I'm gonna pull this one out the bag. I don't think I'm gonna pull this one out the bag, but we'll see. We'll see. Now, this is an interesting name. Gail Alexander. Gail Alexander. So you've got Garnacho. To be honest, Holgate is not a good player. I've seen this guy play before. Hopefully he proves me wrong, and I can respect your opinion. That's your opinion. Football is a game of opinions. If you don't think he's a good player, I'm not going to be the one to convince you, especially because you worded it politely. So, you know, big up you. It is your opinion. Football is a game of opinion. I do like the fact that you said you hope to be proved wrong. I respect it. Gunners boss, big up yourself. Free aid. No, not this time round. I was speaking about a comment that someone asked me. Not this time round. How did he get on in the Prem then? Says Owen. Travis, big up yourself, Travis. How are you doing? I hope you're in good health. I left the link there for CC. I don't know where CC Sports is, but he asked for the link and I can't see him, guys. I'm gonna be closing off soon. I don't know where CC Sports is. Spending time down at. Oh my God. So yeah, guys, let me just reiterate, give Holgate a chance. The young man has not kicked ball for Jamaica yet, and it's not even somebody, a few people. I've already written him off. They've said, nah, he's a walking red card. Boy, on a lie, on a tell more lie than sure. Somehow no. You lot are great actors. You guys are bold without the beautiful. Lime Tree Lane ain't got nothing on some of you lot. You lot are fantastic actors. Fantastic actors. I'll give you guys that. I'll give you guys that. I'm glad that you are well, Travis. Some of them have shallow-minded. Give the youth a chance to prove himself. One Jamaica, one Holgate. Shallow and also selective. They love who they want to love. You know, they love who they want to love and dislike whoever they don't want to like, even without reason. They'll just dislike you. They'll just dislike you. They don't need a reason to dislike you. If they mind tell them to dislike you, they're just gonna dislike you. So, guys, before I forget my manners, I do want to say, if in case I've not said it already, thank you guys each and every time for your support. The channel does continue to grow, and that is because of you guys. This channel continues to grow because of you guys and your support. You guys are always here whenever I pull up on a live stream, even if it is just one of you, two of you. I am so appreciative of your time. Again, now and again, I might just go off because, as I said, this space is a toxic space. And what I don't want is for some people to think that because I am a woman that they can just come and say whatever they want. You cannot do that. You cannot play. So what is joke to you is death to our next man. So just always remember that. And more importantly, I want it to be a point where when other women come in the space in their abundance, that they feel comfortable to make their point, to make their opinions, and not have to worry and think, how are they going to cope when other people say certain things to them, right? It can't be like that. You not even kick a ball yet. All he's done is and this was being said before the young man was even in training. Travis says, welcome Mason Holgate, better late than never. Amen to that. He's England born and his best club was Everton. For context, his parent club is still Everton, though he is on loan to West Brom. Second loan spell at West Brom. Ben Godfrey, get ready, baller, you next. A lot of English born players never played in the Prem. So what are you saying? That is Owen. I'm gonna go ahead and give that another spin there as it relates to the squad announcement. For Jamaica, between the sticks, we have Andre Blake, Shaquan Davis, and Jamali Waite. In defense, we have Dexter Lambakisa, Deshaun Bernard, Greg Lee, Damian Low, John Bell, Richard King, Tavon Gray, Ethan Pinnock, and Mason Holgate. In midfield, we have Casey Palmer, Karoy Anderson, Bobby Reed, Joel Latibade, and Tyreek McGee. And in the forward position, we have Ronaldo Cephas, Norman Campbell, Mikhail Antonio, Damari Gray, Kaheem Dixon, and Romario Williams. And that is how we are looking. Big up yourself, Rasta Gale. I hope so. I hope so. I hope all of us become unstoppable, including the Reggae Boys. So if you guys aren't aware, we are currently hoping and praying that everyone there in Florida are in safe distance of the pending hurricane. I did read something out there to you guys. I know some of you have recently tuned in. So to fill in the gaps as it relates to Florida, and yes, it has nothing to do with football, but let's remind ourselves that, Florida is in the backyard of Jamaica, right? And even if it isn't, we are dealing with human beings and lives here. So you should be able to see this one on the screen in front of you. I will go ahead and reiterate about Hurricane Milton. I don't have long left with you guys until I close off on the stream. I've already spoken about Mason Holgate and also Leon Bailey. Hurricane Milton, Florida braces for storm's landfall with huge evacuation on the way. Hurricane Milton has shocked experts with how quickly it intensified ahead of its expected landfall on Wednesday or early Thursday, coming around 2 weeks after Hurricane Helen killed over 200 people in the U.S. Most important bit there from that report from Sky News. This came about some 2 hours ago. Florida is bracing for the landfall of Category 5 Hurricane Milton, as officials have pleaded with residents to follow evacuation orders. Given the potential destruction of the storm, President Joe Biden postponed an upcoming trip to Germany and Angola in order to oversee preparations for the storm, in addition to ongoing response to Hurricane Helen. And he stated, this could be the worst storm to hit Florida in over a century, and God's willing it won't be, but it's looking like that right now, said Mr. Biden. He added, I don't think I can be out of the country at this time. We haven't seen a storm like this in a lifetime. And we have some comments there from Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. He said on Tuesday morning, now is the time to evacuate your to execute your evacuation plan, but that time is running out. His office declared a state of emergency for some of the worst affected areas. A similar one was later declared in parts of Georgia too. State workers rushed to clear debris from Hurricane Helen as evacuation orders are in place for over 1 million people in Florida's West Coast counties. So that is how that one is looking there. Again, yes, I know it has nothing to do with football, but we are talking about human beings. We're also in hurricane season, still in hurricane season as it relates to Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. Still got under a month to go, but natural disasters can happen at any time. I think it's safe to say that when Jamaica had their own was it a tropical storm? You guys remind me in the comment section. That was in summer, wasn't it? It was during the summer months, and I think that probably caught everyone by surprise. I think that goes to show again that climate change is real. So these things can happen at any given time. I will go back to looking at the football. Guys, I don't think CC Sports is coming. I don't know where he is. I don't think he's actually coming onto the stream. Feel like I've held on for as long as I can. And I think the stream has been going for almost 2 hours. So shortly I will have to love and leave you all because I haven't got a clue where CC Sports is. Let's see what you guys are saying in the comment section. National team is not for giving anyone a chance. Guys earn their spot based on all their accolades, achievements over a 4-year period. Well, The thing is, Gunner's boss, whilst I agree with you, we're a long way from that happening, and because the reason being, so some dating back to the last international window, unless things have changed. I did my own research, my own investigation, and I was reliably told that there is no principle, there is nothing in black and white that clearly states the merits of call-ups pertaining to free agents, right? So I like what you're saying. I like what you're saying. Maybe not in its entirety, but I don't think we're anywhere near that happening unless something has changed between then and now, right? I don't know how someone supposedly not good played so many games in the Prem. I've said this already about Jamaican football fans, they are pros at making nonsense out of sense. They're very good at it. I won't say long may it continue, but hey, knock yourselves out. Shy Smith says, Empress, never give up on yourself, your channel. I gonna make it because you always stay positive. The negative minded people, them always try to distract you. Sometimes they win. Big up yourself, Shy Smith. Sometimes they do. I wouldn't say they win, but sometimes they catch my eye. And, like I said, I don't want it to be a case where you think you can just say whatever because I'm a woman, or I don't want it to be a case where don't try to have a pop at me, because if you do, depending on what's being said, I will have to nip certain things in the bud, especially when we're dealing with things where I'm thinking to myself, you're only saying this because I'm a woman. Like the comment earlier on where you're talking about me fancying Holgate. Where do you get that from? You're not going to tell a male YouTuber who is speaking sense about Mason Holgate that they're only saying it because they fancy him, but you think you can be cheeky with me because I'm a woman. You cannot do that, because that type of comment is going to get nipped in the bud, because I don't want you to think you can do it to me. So be it. I might have to step away from my channel for a day or two, and I might ask another woman to run my channel. No, because I don't nip certain things in the bud, you're going to think that you can say the same thing to that other female host, and you can't. Subsequently, you might think that you can say it to other co-hosts of mine or other panelists, and you cannot. Wrong is wrong. Like, I don't provoke you guys in the comment section. I never started a live stream and just start provoking you, so I don't know why you felt that you could do that. And no, I'm just saying our standards are too low as an organization. If we want to move forward in the footballing world, we have to be more ruthless with our selection, even if them runway. Not every player good plays in the Prem. You need someone on your program. I'm open for conversations. Kiwani, is that how you pronounce your name? Sorry if I butchered it. I'm open for people to come on. It's just that I can't think. CC said he was going to come on, so that's why I put the link in the comment section. Jaja said people in Florida. I linked friends. Yes, I hope so. The hate is real. The hate is real. Wrench. You want a wrench? How do I give you a wrench? Are you asking me for a wrench? How do I give a wrench? What is a wrench? What's a wrench? What's a wrench? And how do I give you a wrench? What's a wrench? Yeah, I need you to explain that to me. Okay, what is it? How do I give you a wrench? What do I need to do? I'm gonna have to, let me ask Google how to do that. I don't know what a wrench is. How to give a wrench on YouTube. How to give a wrench. What is a wrench on YouTube? Give a wrench. There's what does wrench mean on YouTube? Are you asking to be a moderator? Because I think I know how to do. Okay, let me just watch this. Are you asking to be a moderator? Because I think I know how to make you a moderator. Is the moderator the same as a wrench? How to use moderation tools. How you do that? I might have to I'm watching a video. I know I believe I can make you a moder. All right, let me try and see if I can make you a moderator. I think I know how to make you a moderator. Oh, it's a moderator. Okay. All right. I believe I know how to do that much. All right, let's go and see how to make you a moderator. Oh, I'm gonna do that. All right, I think I'm going. Hopefully, I don't click the wrong person. I think you're a moderator. Let me know. Hope I didn't do that to the wrong person. But I think you're now a moderator. If anyone else wants to be a moderator, let me know. Because as I said, I want to make this space as welcoming, not just for myself, but for other women as well. Yes, I do. Yeah, I don't the whole little tongue in cheek or your sexist comments, that's not for me. You know, that is definitely not for me. So I don't want you to think that you can do it to me and then therefore do it to other people. If anyone wants to be a moderator, let me know and I'll be more than happy to make you a moderator. Give me to chase away the few. Kiwani, am I pronouncing your name what? Am I pronouncing your name right? Is it Kiwani? Am I pronouncing it right? Are you going to come back though, Kiwani? Kirani and Shy Smith, are you both going to come back? Why do I feel like I'm going to make you moderators and you're not going to come back? You're just going to disappear into the thin air. I know is ever present. A couple of the guys, the Conrad and Owen, Travis pops by every now and then. Gunner's boss, Rasta Gill pops by every now and then as well. I know those guys will show up. Flavor Max, the same goes for them. But why do I feel like he might just not show up? What we're saying, guys, should we believe Shy Smith? Shy Smith said always here. Do we believe Shy Smith, guys? I can't see one of my comments. One of my comments can't be seen. I think I'll go over to YouTube. Yes. Really? Explain. How comes? Explain that one to me, Gunner's boss. Explain that one to me. Oh my God. In 10 minutes time, guys, it's been 2 hours, almost 2 hours since we've been chatting. I can't lie. I've enjoyed the conversation. One cannot lie. I've definitely, oh my God. Wow. A lot of you have hit like. Big up yourself. You guys have done me good tonight. Big up yourself. How is it not good for the channel? Conrad Smith said, well, baby, the man in my yard too much. They don't know hard work. Maybe that's subjective. I think you probably speak to an extent. I think your keyword there is probably to an extent because, the players that come, I'm assuming you're talking about Jamaican born players or are you talking about players playing in the Jamaica Premier League? Because I think it's two different conversations, but I think for players playing professional football, to an extent, you can probably share that opinion, but it does require hard work to make it as a professional footballer and to remain relevant, like your Andre Blake. I think Andre Blake is someone that can never be accused of not working hard because he's been at Philadelphia Union for what it's over a decade now, right, guys? Let's go double check that. I don't want to lie to you lot, so let me go and double check Andre Blake. Philadelphia Union, 2014 he signed. Yes, he's been there for over a decade now, and he's on what you will call the Ops' turf. He's on the Ops' turf, and He is loved and adored. Philadelphia fans love and adore him. Philadelphia Union adore him. And, you know, I think he's better than Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan played for Arsenal, and I don't know how he managed to pull off that deal. It's no longer plays for Arsenal. But I do think that he's better than him. You know, there have been times in the past where he would have won, like, I believe, like goalkeeper of the year ahead of, I don't know if that's what they call it stateside, paraphrasing, over Andre Blake. And you have to, you know what that comes down to. I don't need to spell it out to you. Oh, you used to use Robert Smith. Is that the same as Rob Smith? Is Robert Smith and Rob Smith the same? They are very thin-skinned and block people who are not in agreement with the views. I personally hate moderators on YouTube channel. All right, I'm going to put that to a vote. I'm going to let you guys decide whether I need. I'm not going to take away our moderator thing from him. I'm going to let it stay the way it is. Not gonna take it away from him. I trust that he'll do the right thing and not block anyone. Even the person that was speaking earlier, when I didn't block him, you know, I left him. I didn't block him. I said what I needed to say. I didn't block him. Did you hear anything about Deshaun Bernard's absence? B. Rule Golden? No, I have not. I've not heard anything about his absence. I would send a message now, but what time is it in Jamaica? What time is it in Jamaica? It's 4 minutes to 8 o'clock. I would message the press officer, but no, for me, it is out of work hours. So I'm not gonna message him because I don't really want no one messaging me in out of work hours. So I'm gonna do the same to him. I think Blake should fire his agent and Aya. I think his agent's fine. You know, I think we need to remind ourselves that Andre Blake, for the most part, appears to be settled in the United States. And, you know, if he's making a steady living and he's happy, he's also got his plan B. He's a businessman, he's a philanthropist, he's giving back to his high school. And, you know, he has a family of his own with his missus. And if his wife is happy and their kids are happy, then happy wife, happy life. You know, maybe his missus doesn't fancy coming to England. You know, maybe she's quite happy over in the States. Maybe she has family in the States. So, you know, when Blake is on the road, it's not just her being left with their kids, because that's a tall ask, you know. I'm sure if she comes over here, yes, she'll make friends with new moms with the clubs and so on, but it's not the same, you know. So we have to think about from the player personal life element without being intrusive on their personal lives. Like, maybe, and I'm not saying his wife is the reason why. I'm just saying, you know, he does have a wife, he does have his kids, and maybe Mrs. Blake don't fancy leaving the United States, and whatever she wants definitely counts for something, because she's holding down the house when Blake is on the road. So her need is just as important as his, you know. And he's settled. He's now a US citizen as well. He's treated well. If the money is right, family is happy, kids are settled in school as well. You know, like I said, he probably has a tight-knit community. He probably has extended loved ones in close proximity. So why throw that away? Why? He doesn't need to prove nothing to no one. We know just how good he is. It says, it says, Blake is comfortable in the USA. Yeah, I think he's all right in the USA. All right, guys, we got about 4 more minutes until I'm going to have to love and leave you. This has been, unexpectedly, this has been a very good live stream. Now, I'm not going to lie to you all. I don't know if I'm going to be able to give you guys a live stream of that game coming up against Nicaragua. And let me go ahead and show you why I don't know if I can actually sit with you guys. For me to pull this one off, I'm going to have to get my much needed rest during the daytime. You guys should be able to see this one on the screen in front of you. Nicaragua. Again, Google is working with my time. So it says Friday. This game will be played on Thursday, the 10th of October. If you're in the UK like myself, it is Friday the 11th with a kickoff time of 3 a.m. I don't know how many of you will be rocking with me for that live stream. And the game against Honduras, this one played on Monday, the 14th of October for you guys stateside and in Jamaica. For the rest of us in the UK, this game is actually played on Tuesday, the 15th with a kickoff time of 2 a.m. So these two fixtures is what you call graveyard hours. So we got about 2 more minutes until I'm going to have to love you and leave you because CC Sports, I don't know where he's gone. He's not coming. Shy Smith says, no, I'm the original Robert Smith, not Rob Smith. Remember the days you used to link up with Coach's Desk and Ryan LFC. Robert Smith. Okay, I thought I get you now. I get you now. So we got 2 more minutes, guys. We're gonna round this one off to 2 hours. And then I'm going to have to love you and leave you. I have an early start, somewhat of an early start tomorrow. Oh, jeez. I am absolutely, I'm parched. Oh, I am parched. All right, guys. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Thank you so much for rocking with me for almost 2 hours. I was supposed to make this 1 hour max. I don't know. Maybe I talk too much sometimes. But yeah. I am sorry about that. Okay. I'm really sorry about that. I can only apologize. If you are out and about, however, I do hope that you make it home safe and unharmed because walking through your doors is an underrated blessing. To the guys stateside in Florida, you are definitely in our thoughts and our prayers. I do hope that this hurricane comes and passes with no lasting devastation. If you're new to the channel, I do hope that you go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I hope I managed to make some sense out of the nonsense. And I do hope to see you guys on my channel again in the near future. Big up you guys there in the comment section. Thank you for rocking with me for the best part of 2 hours on the dot. Thank you so much for your continuous support. It does not go unnoticed. If I don't see you between now and the rest of the week, I do hope that you have a cracking week. If I don't see you over the weekend, I hope that you have a smashing weekend. Stay safe and you know how it goes. Until next time. Take care.
I'm John Barnes, and you're watching Talawa TV with Crystal Davis.